The Wyoming wind had a way of howling through the empty plains like a lost soul calling for company. Cole Granger had long ago gotten used to it, used to the silence, the emptiness, the weight of a life lived far from everyone. He preferred it that way. Out here on his 500-acre ranch, there were no memories to accidentally bump into, no ghosts waiting to drag him back to the night he'd lost everything. Just cattle, just sky, just the quiet that kept him alive. Late that December afternoon, the air was thick with the smell of incoming snow. The sky was the color of tarnished silver, low and heavy, promising a storm that could swallow a man whole. Cole had been out checking the south fence line when he spotted something strange. Two small shapes huddled beneath a cottonwood tree, barely visible between the sheets of blowing snow. At first, he thought it was a pair of lost calves, but calves didn't cry. Cole froze. The sound hit him like a punch, a thin, trembling sob carried by the wind. He nudged his horse closer, and then he saw them. Two tiny girls, twins, no older than 5, wrapped in thin jackets that were already soaked with snow. Their hands were blue, their cheeks red and raw. One held the other tightly, whispering, trying to keep her awake. Cole's heart lurched painfully, something it hadn't done in years. Hey now, he said softly, sliding off the saddle. Don't be scared. My name's Cole. I'm here to help. The braver of the two lifted her chin, trembling violently. My sister. She can't walk anymore. It's too cold. The other girl was barely conscious. Cole didn't waste a second. He swept the weaker twin into his arms, scooped the other close, and rushed them to his horse. What are your names? He asked, trying to keep their eyes open. I'm Lily. She's Rose. Lee Rose, he said firmly. I'm taking you someplace warm. Hold on. The storm hit full force just as he reached his cabin. Snow slammed against the windows. Wind screamed like a living thing. He carried the girls inside, lit the fireplace, wrapped them in blankets and heated broth on the stove. Their little bodies shook beneath the quilts as he rubbed warmth back into their fingers. Where are your folks? He asked quietly. Lily looked at the fire instead of him. Mommy told us to hide. She said she'd come back, but she didn't. His stomach tightened. The storm was brutal. Anyone caught in it without shelter wouldn't last long. He knelt beside the girls. You're safe now. I'll keep you warm, I promise. The words surprised even him. He hadn't made promises in years. As night settled, he tucked the twins on the old leather couch near the fire. Lily fell asleep first. Rose curled against her sister, her tiny hand holding on to Lily's sleeve like she was afraid someone might take her away. Cole sat across from them, watching the flames dance. Something heavy stirred in him, an old ache he thought he'd buried forever. He remembered another storm, another child, another night he couldn't save the ones he loved. He pushed the memories away. Tonight wasn't about him. The storm raged for hours. The twins slept fitfully, crying in their dreams. Every time one whimpered, Cole Rose sat beside them and whispered soft reassurances. By dawn, the worst of the snow had passed. The plains looked like a white ocean stretching endlessly into silence. Cole stepped outside to look for tracks, footprints, wagon wheels, anything. But the storm had erased everything. Whoever their mother was, she was lost out there somewhere. He went back inside, heart tight. Lily was awake, staring at him with wide, cautious eyes. Are you going to send us away? She whispered. The question hit him like a bullet. No, he said gently. You're staying right here until we find your mama. You got my word. Rose stirred, sitting up slowly. Is Mommy coming? Cole forced a calm smile. I'm going to do everything I can to find her. He cooked oatmeal, burned the first batch, and pretended he meant to. The girls giggled. Small, fragile giggles that somehow warmed the cold cabin more than the fire ever could. All morning he kept glancing at the horizon, expecting, hoping to see someone riding toward the ranch. But no one came. By noon, the twins were coloring with old pencils he found in a drawer. Lily drew horses. Rose drew a cabin and a big sun. She held it up proudly. "This is your house," she said. Cole chuckled softly. "Sure looks nicer on paper." "Mommy says good people have warm homes," Rose added. He swallowed hard. Good people. He didn't think he qualified anymore. The hours passed slowly. The storm clouds thinned. Snow glittered like diamond dust across the vast, empty plains. Cole saddled his horse again. "I'll ride north. Check for tracks," he told the twins. "I won't be long." "Don't leave," Lily whispered, gripping his coat sleeve. He knelt down. "Nothing's going to happen to me, I promise." He rode out, scanning every ridge, every drift. He found nothing, no tracks, no broken branches, no sign of a camp. The silence of the plains felt heavier than ever before. When he returned, the girls ran to him, hugging his legs tightly. He lifted them both and carried them inside. And that night, as they slept under warm quilts, Cole Granger, lonely rancher, man who'd sworn never again to let anyone into his life, sat on the edge of the couch, watching over them like a guardian he never asked to be. He didn't know their mother. He didn't know where she was. He didn't know why she had left her daughters alone in a storm. But he knew one thing for certain. He would protect Lily and Rose with everything he had. The next evening came quietly. The sun dipped behind the hills, painting the snow in shades of pink and gold. Cole was preparing dinner when he heard a sound outside. Soft, hesitant footsteps crunching through the snow. He stiffened. The twins looked toward the door at the same time he did. Then, 3 faint knocks. Cole's heart kicked hard in his chest. He moved to the door slowly, hand instinctively hovering near the old rifle by the frame. He pulled the door open, and there she stood. A woman, exhausted, trembling, her clothes torn, snow clinging to her eyelashes. Beautiful in a wild, heartbreaking way. Eyes filled with terror and hope all at once. When she saw her daughters behind Cole, she made a choked, desperate sound. "Lily. Rose." The twins gasped. "Mommy." They ran past Cole into her arms. The woman dropped to her knees in the snow, hugging them tightly, crying into their hair. Cole stood frozen, breath caught in his throat. Then slowly she lifted her face to his, and the look in her eyes was about to change his life forever. The woman's tear-stricken face was still lifted toward Cole, her arms wrapped desperately around her daughters, as if she feared the wind might steal them away again. Snowflakes clung to her lashes, melting slowly against the heat of her tears. For a long moment, neither she nor Cole spoke. Only the sound of the twins crying. "Mommy! Mommy!" filled the frozen dusk. Cole's throat tightened. Something in that woman's eyes, fear, gratitude, exhaustion, and something deeper, held him still. She finally managed a trembling whisper. "You saved my girls." Cole cleared his throat, forcing steadiness into his voice. "They were freezing out there. I just did what anyone would have done." She shook her head, breath misting in the cold air. "No, not everyone would have stopped. Not in a storm like that." Her voice cracked. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Come inside," Cole said quietly. "You're shaking." She nodded, gathering the twins close as he guided them all into the cabin. The warmth hit her like a wave. Her knees buckled and Cole rushed to steady her arm. "Easy," he murmured. "Sit by the fire." He helped her lower herself onto the rug near the flames. Lily and Rose instantly curled into her sides, burying their faces into her coat. The woman exhaled a shuddering breath, running her fingers through their hair as if reassuring herself they were real. Cole poured hot tea and handed her a mug. She wrapped her fingers around it, trying to stop their trembling. After a moment, she looked up at him. "My name is Emily Hart." "Cole Granger," he replied. The name seemed to settle something in her. She nodded weakly. Emily took a long sip of tea, then closed her eyes briefly, holding her daughters close. Cole sat across from her, elbows on his knees. He waited, giving her space to catch her breath. He'd seen people push past their limits before, ranchers stranded in blizzards, travelers separated from their wagons. But something about the haunted look in Emily's eyes was different. More human, more personal, more dangerous. After several minutes, Emily finally whispered, "I didn't mean to leave them. I swear I didn't." Cole didn't interrupt. He knew better than to force answers. "My truck broke down, miles from here," she continued. "We were on our way out of Wyoming, trying to get to Colorado. I thought I could carry the girls to safety, but I slipped on the ridge. I hit my head. When I woke up, the storm was already tearing everything apart. I tried to find them, but the snow, the tracks, everything disappeared." Her voice trembled, half fear, half guilt. "I searched all night, all next morning." I thought she choked on the words. "I thought I'd lost them forever." Lily hugged her tighter. "We hid, like you said. Mommy, we waited for you." Emily broke then, her tears silent, but her shoulders shaking violently. Cole looked away, giving her a moment. The depth of her fear cut through him like a knife. A mother fighting a storm alone for her children. That was strength, desperation, love, all the things he'd once known before life had carved pieces out of him. When she finally calmed, Cole spoke quietly. "You're safe now, all of you." Emily lifted her eyes to his again, soft, grateful, searching. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't know what you've done for us." Cole shifted uncomfortably, not used to praise, just doing what's right. But Emily shook her head. "No, you did more than that." For a moment, silence settled between them, a warm silence this time, not the biting winter kind. As the night deepened, Cole prepared a simple dinner. Emily kept glancing at him as if trying to understand this quiet rancher who had guarded her girls like they were his own. The twins ate beside her, never letting go of her sleeve for a second. After eating, Emily leaned back against the couch, eyelids heavy. "You need rest," Cole told her. "You look like you've been awake a week." "I can't sleep," she whispered. "Not after losing them once." Cole understood. "I'll keep watch. Nothing's getting past me." Her eyes softened again. Too soft. Dangerously soft. "Thank you, Cole." He nodded once, then tossed another log into the fire. Emily drifted to sleep with the twins on either side of her. Cole sat nearby, arms crossed, staring into the flames. But the longer he watched them sleep, the mother curled protectively around her daughters, the more something inside him began to thaw. He hadn't felt this warmth since before the accident, before fate had stolen his family, before he decided the world had nothing left for him. He didn't realize he'd fallen asleep in his chair until the sun was already peeking over the horizon. The next morning brought a strange, unfamiliar quiet to the ranch, a kind of peaceful hum. Emily was in the kitchen heating water, the twins scribbling drawings at the table. When Cole stepped in, Rose jumped up. "Mr. Cole, look!" She handed him a drawing of a tall cowboy with a big hat standing beside two little girls. Lily pointed at the figure. "That's you." Cole's chest tightened in a way he didn't understand. Emily smiled softly from the stove. "They like you." He didn't know what to say, so he just cleared his throat and poured coffee. But Emily wasn't smiling for long as the morning light hit the bruise on her jaw. Dark, painful, ugly. Cole noticed it for the first time. His blood ran cold. "Emily," he said quietly. "Who hurt you?" She froze. The twins looked up confused. Emily forced a smile for them. "Girls, go wash your hands. Breakfast's almost ready." When they were out of earshot, the smile faded. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "It doesn't matter." "The hell it doesn't," Cole growled, angrier than he intended. "That bruise didn't come from a fall." Emily swallowed hard, eyes darting to the door as if expecting someone to burst through it. "Finally," she whispered. "We weren't just running from the storm, Cole." Her fingers gripped her own wrist tight. "We were running from him." Cole straightened. "Him who?" Emily's voice cracked. "The twins' father." Cold fury prickled down Cole's spine. "He did that to you?" She nodded, trembling. "And he'll come looking. He always does." Cole glanced at the twins, then back at Emily. "Emily, if he's dangerous," she cut him off, whispering sharply. "You don't understand. He's not just dangerous. He's powerful. He has friends, money, connections. He doesn't lose." Cole leaned forward, eyes hardening. "Then he hasn't met me." Emily looked at him, startled. "Cole, you don't know what you're saying." "I know you and those girls deserve peace, and as long as you're under my roof, nobody lays a damn finger on you. Not him, not anyone." Her breath hitched. Something fragile broke inside her. "Why?" she whispered. "Why would you risk yourself for us?" Cole stared at her for a long moment because he'd failed once, because he knew what it felt like to lose family, because when he saw her with her daughters, something inside him remembered how to feel alive. But he didn't say any of that. Instead, he said the simplest truth. Because it's the right thing to do. Emily blinked, tears forming again. But these were different. Softer, warmer. Before she could speak, a sudden, distant engine roar cut across the plains. Emily went pale instantly. "No, not already." Cole moved to the window. A black truck was rolling across the snow-covered ridge, slow and deliberate, heading straight for the ranch. "Is that him?" Cole asked. Emily's silence was answer enough. Cole's jaw tightened like steel. He reached for his old rifle, the weight. He tightened his grip and moved toward the doorway. Emily clutched his arm, fear written across her face. "Cole, please," she whispered. "He's dangerous." Cole glanced back at her, his voice calm, firm, unbreakable. "So am I." Emily swallowed, her breath shaking. The truck kept coming. And in that moment, standing between the threat and the family she was fighting with everything she had to protect, Cole Granger understood something clearly. His years of solitude were finished. The quiet life he'd known had ended the instant he found those girls. And now, no matter the price, he would stand his ground and fight for them.